Welcome back. With less than 2 weeks to go until the midterms, President Biden is hitting the campaign trail, heading to Syracuse, New York later today, touting his economic agenda.
He's expected to discuss plans by chip maker Micron to invest $100 billion there over at least 20 years. That money will help build semiconductor factories. President Biden will also lay out his administration's economic policies and successes as Americans prepare to head to the voting booth. NBC News White House correspondent Mike Memoli joins us now from Syracuse with more on this. So, Mike, we know the president has made American manufacturing one of the key pillars of his economic agenda. What's he expected to say about this massive investment in Syracuse?
Well, Joe, he's expected to take a lot of credit for it. We've really seen the president over the last few weeks rush to join companies as they're making these kinds of major jobs announcements. Micron, $100 billion, as you mentioned, is going to be adding to that today, announcing that as part of their expansion plans here in upstate New York, they're going to be adding 9,000, in some cases, six-figure paying jobs, as well as signing labor agreements to ensure a prevailing wage. We saw the president just a few weeks ago at an IBM plant in Poughkeepsie, at an Intel plant in Ohio. This is really an opportunity for him to tie all these expansion to the CHIPS Act, an important legislative win for him. But it's also going to be an opportunity for the president today to really make an economic argument, closing argument for the midterms. And he's not alone. There's going to be more than a half a dozen members of the cabinet also fanning out today across the country, many to swing districts, swing states, to really try to frame the choice for voters in the fall as one of expansion and jobs in the Biden administration versus what they're arguing Republicans would do if they're elected.
And Michael, we know the president is also expected to contrast his economic agenda with that of Republicans and criticize the Republicans' party's plans. What message do we think we're going to hear about this to voters?
Yeah, it's interesting the way that the White House is presenting the argument today and what we'll hear directly from the president, laying out, yes, the record that the Biden administration has racked up, but what they're also claiming is the Republican plan. They say that that involves an uneven tax burden. We're shifting it back to the middle class, higher prescription drug costs, higher health insurance premiums, higher energy costs, and higher education costs. Now, you may be saying Republicans are no way proposing that, right? Well, what the White House is arguing is that because Republicans have vowed that they would repeal the Inflation Reduction Act, that's exactly what would happen. There are tax credits in that. There are taxes for corporations that didn't exist before. There are fixes to the Affordable Care Act that would lower health costs. So that's really what the White House and the president is going to try to do today, lay out really what the consequences of what Republicans' rhetoric would lead to.
And Mike, to many, the midterms are going to be seen as a referendum on how the president is handling inflation, which is a huge issue for voters, perhaps the top issue. With 12 days to go, how worried is the administration right now? And looking ahead, are they promising any additional measures to try and help fight inflation?
Well, the administration, clearly, the president himself worried about where things stand with now just over 11 days until the midterm elections. The president really talking about a potential shift back to Democrats in the polls. That's an acknowledgement that it's not going their way right now. And they know the economy is front and center. That's part of why the president is focusing on it today. Now, what the president is going to also be talking about is some additional proposals he would implement if given a Democratic Congress next year. That really means following through on other parts of that Build Back Better agenda that he didn't get through in the last Congress, things like free community college tuition, also an expansion of child care benefits as well. So it's a tall order. We know how hard it was to do with even the narrow Democratic majorities that they have now. We know that they're probably going to be slimmed down, if even existent, in the next Congress, but it's part of what the president is going to be making the case for today.
All right, Mike Memoli. Mike, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.